And that's nightly news for this Tuesday. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'm Lester Holt. Please take care of yourself and each other. Good night.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt, winner of the 2022 Edward R. Murrow Award.
Are you ready? I love you. Wow! This is for the finals.
That was a masterclass.
AGT Live, tonight and tomorrow.
My wife and I worked hard for decades. We thought our retirement was secure.
But inflation is changing everything. Gas, groceries. It's hard for retirees on fixed incomes. But I'm even more worried about the debt we're leaving our grandchildren.
Senator Ron Johnson understands we must get spending under control.
And he's working to stop the waste in Washington.
Tell Senator Johnson to keep fighting for Wisconsin seniors and the next generation.
Tribute Brewing, Airport Road to Bluebird Road, Eagle River.
Straight ahead, Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes is facing criticism for his security spending. What his critics are saying about the increased costs.
Plus, Mississippi residents are dealing with the water crisis after recent flooding cripples its water source. What they're doing to combat the issue.
And Aspirus is raising awareness about mental health. We'll break down what to do if you are struggling. We'll have the details as your local news starts right now.
Your local news and weather from where you live. Newswatch 12 at 6 starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Newswatch 12 at 6. I'm Michael Lodeholtz.
And I'm Jessica Jukic. Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes logged more than 10 times as many hours of security than his predecessor, an issue that Republican Senator Ron Johnson is raising in the hotly contested race.
The Milwaukee Journal Sentinel reports that Barnes averaged more than 13 and a half hours of security protection a day, which is a daily cost to the state of $660 for patrol officers' wages. Barnes' increased use of security was an issue early in his term as lieutenant governor. Johnson's campaign spokesperson called the rising costs outrageous and unprecedented. He said it is hypocritical for the lieutenant governor to use the state patrol as his own Uber service when he favors defunding police agencies. Barnes has said he does not favor defunding the police, but he is backed by half a dozen groups that do. A little bit breezy out there today.
Chief Meteorologist Jeff Weller joins us now. Jeff.
Hey guys, a very nice day today with temperatures hanging out in the 70s. It was a bit breezy like Michael said with wind gusts up near 30 miles per hour. That will come down tonight and tomorrow will be back again. Another breezy day across our region tomorrow. Temperatures though are at 72 in Rhinelander right now, also near Tomahawk, 73 Leona. So yesterday I stood right here at this exact minute and there were 80s on the board. No 80s today, but they are back in the forecast for pretty much tomorrow or into Thursday and Friday. Lots of clear skies across the state now. This is high pressure doing its thing. The air around high pressure, of course, is sinking air. You can't get bad weather out of that. It also goes clockwise. So right now, we're on the cooler side of it, but behind it, as we get on the other side of it tomorrow, we're going to start getting a little bit warmer across our area, and we have 80s back in the forecast as soon as Thursday. Our forecast then tonight, though, is partly cloudy skies to mostly clear skies. Very comfortable. Open up the windows with low temperatures down near 54. Your full forecast is coming up. Jessica, Michael?
Thank you, Jeff. Millions of Americans struggle with mental health every year, and there are resources available for those seeking help. MHA is also known as Mental Health America, says nearly 1 in 5 American adults have a diagnosable mental health condition. Mental health problems can cause anxiety, depression, as well as PTSD. Heidi Pritzel, a clinical social worker at Aspirus, says that if you do have a medical problem, you should seek help with someone you trust.
So some real big factors are prevention, linking with supports in your area, whether that be a local chaplain or a therapist, to receive that support for treatment.
Having the best health possible is important for a healthy life. Pritzel says being outside and getting vitamin D as well as having a hobby are a few ways to help out with stress.
Whether they're working out or they play a sport, that is so important for mental health. Hobbies, interests. But as we know with mental health, sometimes that's really hard to do. It's even a struggle to just get out of bed or want to get up in the morning.
If you're struggling with mental health, help is out there. You can call the Mental Health Crisis Line at 1-888-299-1188. In Mississippi, the state has a water problem.
The city's water system, which was already fragile, can't produce safe water following recent flooding. More than 150,000 people in Jackson, Mississippi are on the hunt for drinkable water as their city's main water treatment facility failed this week. A combination of years of issues and days of record rains now has the city under a state of emergency and thousands of National Guard members moving in to help. Mississippi's governor says there's no guarantee there's enough running water to fight fires or flush toilets, and the remaining water is unsafe for Jackson residents to drink or even use to brush their teeth.
This is a set of accumulated problems based on deferred maintenance that has not taken place over decades.
In 2020, an EPA report cited a long list of problems with the water system, including failure to replace lead pipes, faulty monitoring equipment, and inadequate staffing. Jackson's mayor says immediate water problems could continue for days, but long-term fixes could take years. Rembert Weekland was the Archbishop for the Archdiocese of Milwaukee from 1977 until his retirement in 2002. He died last week at the age of 95.
A funeral service was set for him today, but as Emerson Lehman reports, many people aren't happy about it, saying the former Archbishop doesn't deserve to be celebrated.
Archbishop Rembert Weekland deserves no honor or praise.
Strong words from Father James Connell, a retired Catholic priest and former vice chancellor with the Archdiocese of Milwaukee.
Doing so would put salt in the wounds of victim survivors of clergy sexual abuse.
It's been discovered Weekland, who retired in 2002, knowingly reassigned priests who had allegedly sexually abused minors. The former archbishop also admitted to misusing hundreds of thousands of church dollars to cover up a relationship he had with another man.
This man being buried Tuesday is unrepentant. He died unrepentant for the harm that he caused.
The Archdiocese released this statement Monday saying, quote, "A funeral mass is not a glorification of a person's life, but rather an act of mercy for the dead, during which we pray that, despite any failings in life, they may be received by a merciful God. We pray for all sexual abuse survivors and hope they can find healing and peace." Advocates for abuse survivors unrolled a 60-foot line of photos of priests who allegedly committed sexual crimes under Weekland's leadership.
I can't imagine being proud of someone who ran an organization with 80 people who abused children.
Archbishop Lestucki has the authority, the power. He could stop this from being here.
The Department of Justice is updating its rules for engaging in political activities.
And we're learning new details in the Mar-a-Lago raid. We'll break down what the DOJ is deciding. That's after Weather with Jeff right here on Newswatch 12.
This portion of Newswatch 12 is brought to you by Northwoods Furniture, Eagle River.
Creative Kitchen and Bath Studio has designed beautiful and functional kitchens and baths in the Northwoods. When helping plan your dream kitchen or bath with in-home consultation available, they provide 3D drawings of your spaces to bring your visions to life. Owner and designer Sarah has over 25 years of experience, overseen 500 plus projects, and built strong relationships with local contractors providing superior installation. Whether it's a new home or a remodel, Creative Kitchen and Bath Studio in Eagle River looks forward to making your dream kitchen or bath a reality.
Northland Basement Systems is the all things basementy company. Basement waterproofing, basement finishing, basement structural repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. When it comes to basement solutions, nobody does it better than we do. Since 1991, homeowners just like you in the Northland have trusted Northland Basement Systems for all things basementy in their homes. Call Northland Basement Systems today to schedule a free home evaluation.
Listen to this sweet deal. Ron Johnson used his office to scoop up millions for himself. Like how Johnson secured a special tax break that benefited his own business.
Did my business benefit? Sure.
The tax break helped Johnson double his wealth. And the cherry on top? It's helped make him the 5th richest senator in Washington. Ron Johnson's not looking out for Wisconsin. He's out for himself. DSCC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Whether it's for work or play, you want a truck that'll get the job done right. We have them all. Half-ton trucks, Power Strokes, Cummins, Duramax, SUVs, over 800 to choose from. Know that all Lens trucks are fully inspected, certified clean, can be purchased online, and can be delivered right to your door. It's our way of saying thanks to our past and future customers for the last 35 years. Go now to lenstruck.com.
Lens Truck.
Brought to you by Lockview Desert Health Center, Eagle River and Waters Meet.
It's pretty amazing that we get to live here. Plenty of sunshine out there today. Temperatures back in the low to mid 70s and less humid again. That front came through last night, and we are in dry air mode around here. It's 72 in Rhinelander. Look at the dew point, though, in the 40s. It's incredibly dry air. It'll likely stay with us tonight and tomorrow and probably in to early parts of Thursday. Over in Wausau, it's 77 for you, a west wind at 13, and that dew point there of 49. All right, on the horn, temperatures are hanging out pretty much in the low 70s across the area, but there are a couple mid to upper 70s in there as well. Wausau is the warm spot right now at 77. Remember yesterday we had 80s on the map, not so much today. Things have cooled off just a bit. The average high is 75, the record high 92 back in 2012. But look at this, the record low is now 28. Yes, the atmosphere can do that this time of the year, although a long time ago, back in 1915. The sun sets later on at 7:39 tonight. Going forward, so 76 tomorrow, 82s for Thursday into Friday. And then look, Saturday and Sunday a bit cooler, but right now sunshine is holding for the weekend. Fingers crossed, 77 for Monday into Tuesday. So pretty much near average temperatures the next 7 to 8 days around here. Some signs now pointing toward, at the end of this map, over here we'll say, there could be even warmer temperatures on the way, so we'll see. That's still 8 or 9 days away. Looking outside now, here's the Mackinac Bridge, beautiful, right? But notice how there's some whitecaps out there right now, as we've had wind gusts today near 30 miles per hour. The flag there is flowing, and that'll come down tonight, but tomorrow we'll get some wind gusts across the area back up near 30, so that can make this hammock fun again tomorrow. But overall, things will come down throughout the night tonight, be back again tomorrow with wind gusts near 30 miles per hour. That's also going to blow around the allergens, and there are a lot of them. In fact, take a flashlight tonight, after dark, of course, up into the sky, and notice all the things that fly by. Those are allergens in the air. The grass pollen is off the charts right now. Wheat pollen pretty high as well, mold too. So overall, if you're sniffling and sneezing, this could be a reason why. Here we are in Wausau, crystal blue skies out there currently. The traffic is going. Very nice day across the entire area, and we'll do it all over again tomorrow. Nothing but clear skies out there now. Again, high pressure is building in, and it's everywhere across the Midwest and upper Midwest currently. And again, the air on high pressure goes like this. It goes clockwise, right? So right now, we're kind of on the cooler side of this, but tomorrow we'll begin to get on the warmer side of this. That will give us some mid-70s for high temperatures tomorrow, and maybe a couple low 80s across central and southern parts of Wisconsin for tomorrow. For tonight, though, lots of clear skies out there. Low temperatures down near 54 and still breezy for tomorrow. All right, lots of sunshine again, but windy. That northwest wind could still gust near 25 or 30 through the afternoon, with high temperatures reaching back into the mid-70s tomorrow. And then looking ahead, your 7-day forecast by Northwest Furniture and Mattress shows tomorrow, very nice day. Thursday, same story, but 80s on Thursday. There's that chance for rain holding on Friday, not an all-day rain, and a beautiful weekend on store for us. Jessica?
Thank you, Jeff. A Wisconsin prisoner supervisor who allegedly maintained a relationship with an inmate faces multiple counts of felony sexual assault. Racine County prosecutors charged 37-year-old Jacqueline Height on Monday with 20 counts of second-degree sexual assault by correctional staff, as well as felony counts of delivering illegal articles to an inmate and misconduct in the office. The Racine Journal-Times reported that, according to the criminal complaint, on August 18th, authorities found a cell phone with the inmate's pants with nude photos of Height on it, as well as a text message between the two. The inmate told investigators they had consensual sex in Height's office at the Racine Correctional Institution more than 20 times between April and August 4th.
Justice Department employees are now barred from partaking in any political activities. Attorney General Merrick Garland issued a memo Tuesday announcing the new restrictions. He admits the DOJ previously allowed non-career appointees to attend partisan political events if they had approval, but no more. There are no exceptions to the new policy, even if a family member is running for office, which was historically permitted. The new restrictions are part of the DOJ's compliance with the Hatch Act. That long-standing federal law generally prohibits federal employees from participating in political activities while on duty. Today is the deadline for the Department of Justice to respond to former President Trump's request for a special master to review evidence seized during the search of his Mar-a-Lago estate. The latest developments in the investigation coming as President Biden is ramping up his midterm campaigning.
Today, Biden is talking crime, and Thursday he set for a primetime speech on threats to democracy. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Today, it's the Justice Department's turn in the high-stakes back and forth over classified documents seized from former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. A federal judge ordered the government to respond today to the former president's call for an independent special master to review the evidence and determine if anything should be returned. The judge signaling she's inclined to grant the request after a hearing Thursday.
But she may think, in a high-profile case, and they don't get much more high-profile than this one, that having a neutral third party is better for everybody in the long run.
But the Justice Department says it's already filtered through the material and set aside what could be protected under attorney-client privilege.
We need a judge to monitor our access to these documents.
I do believe that the Trump legal team is looking to use this as an overall delay.
A third-party review could slow the investigation and the national security damage assessment the intelligence community wants to conduct.
If documents have been spilled, so to speak, then it could be that we have sources overseas whose lives are in danger.
The White House insisting President Biden did not ask for that assessment and has not been briefed. The president pushing toward the midterms today in battleground Pennsylvania, where he hopes to seize the traditionally Republican law and order campaign message. President Biden pointing to Trump supporters' attacks on the FBI following the Mar-a-Lago search.
It's sickening to see the new attacks on the FBI, threatening the life of law enforcement agents and their families.
And seeking to highlight his administration's increased funding for police. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
A wildlife rehab center is expanding. What Wild Instincts is planning on adding to its rehab center. We'll break it down after the break.
This traffic is horrible.
Great. Time for another one of these.
Bite into the new Primal Burrito or Biscuit with prime rib at Hardee's. See Jurassic World Dominion in theaters June 10th.
See the exceptional selection of jewelry at Golden Carat Jewelers. Artistic handmade jewelry by Michu and Bella Trois. Fashion-forward designs by Mira T. and Frederick Sage. The latest trends and the forever classics from Facet Barcelona, Catan, and more. Your full-service jewelry store in downtown Minocqua, Golden Carat Jewelers has a surprise for everyone.
Labor Day weekend at Crandon International Raceway is here. 3 huge days and nights of racing and entertainment. It's the biggest and most prestigious off-road race in the world. September 1st through 4th, the 53rd Polaris Crandon World Championships. Get all the information for this incredible weekend of racing and camping at CrandonOffroad.com. See you at the Big House.
Hypnotize your way to savings.
Breathing techniques to help you save.
Looking to make saving a habit?
Yeah, what's the secret?
No secret. Just open a savings account at BMO and we'll give you a cash reward for every month you save.
A cash reward? Just for saving?
Mm-hmm. And when you open a checking account, we'll give you a $300 bonus to get your new savings habit started.
Love that.
What's your book?
How to get a $300 bonus and a monthly cash reward for saving with BMO.
He literally wrote the book on saving.
That's me on the cover.
When a bank helps you make real financial progress, that's the BMO effect.
We all need deep restorative sleep to handle stress and maintain good health. And at Slumberland, we've made that very easy. Only Slumberland has a smart rating system on each bed to finally make shopping simple, fast, and understandable. And we carry every Tempur-Pedic national model in every store. Now save up to $700 on select adjustable mattress sets. And special 72-month financing is available. For a better night's sleep, Tempur-Pedic at Slumberland. The brand everyone wants. Everyone.
Next to Market Watch, numbers. Boring.
In more delicious news, there's a buy one famous star, get one for $1 deal at Hardee's.
Bite into the famous star today, only at Hardee's.
News Watch 12 is brought to you by Bone and Joint Walk-In Care.
A local wildlife rehabilitation center is making plans to expand. Wild Instincts in Rhinelander treats all injured and orphaned animals. The nonprofit organization is hoping to add a nature center on part of its property. Mark Naniot is the director of rehabilitation at Wild Instincts. Naniot says the nature center would provide opportunities to educate the community.
We've always believed in nature education, and it's something that's beneficial to wildlife, because if people learn more about how they can harm wildlife and different things they can do to be better stewards of the land, help wildlife out more, that's definitely beneficial for our job, because then we'll get in less animals.
Wild Instincts typically sees around 1,000 animals each year and over 100 species. Naniot says this year has been on par with the others. Although right now it is a busy time, Naniot says the expansion would benefit the community and wildlife.
If it's a rainy day and people are up on vacation and they want to go someplace, they can tour through the Nature Center. And we can do programs for all sorts of different ages, school groups, everything. There is no Nature Center here in the Northwoods, and so we wanted to kind of solve that problem.
Naniot plans to start the multi-year project in a few weeks, but right now he's focused on finding volunteer help. Wild Instincts has created a fundraising campaign to help with the cost of the new Nature Center project.
Last year, the Hanson Garden Village wasn't able to host their annual corn maze event, but they were able to bring it back again this year. Newswatch 12's Derek Dryfirst has the story.
After last year's crops didn't grow to the expected size, last Thursday, Hanson Garden Village, just south of Rhinelander, reopened their corn maze. And this year, not only is the corn the tallest it's ever been, but the manager, Beth Hansen, is excited to bring the event back.
We've done our corn maze for quite a few years. We've started it and we've moved it in a couple different locations. It's been at this spot in the field for a few years now, and it keeps getting better every year.
For a project like this, it took just over 3 months to complete.
My father Brent and my brother Eric plant the cornfield every year, and they start in June, end of May, early June to get it started.
But this is more than your typical corn maze, as throughout the entire maze are checkpoints, much like this one, with a hole punch attached to the end of it. You punch into your card, and then once you've completed the card, you can turn it in at the office to be entered into a raffle to earn other prizes. I am lost right now.
So there's certain posts that are extra challenging that we've already had feedback of people that couldn't find certain ones. The first people that have gone through the maze, it's taken them over an hour to complete it.
But the corn maze is one of many events that the Hanson Garden Village will be offering throughout the entire autumn season.
We also do tractor hay rides, and that'll be another component of our weekend activities coming up, so stay tuned for that information.
Reporting in Rhinelander, Derek Dryfirst, Newswatch 12.
Keeping your family close together in your home these days are important. Let us remodel your kitchen and bath. Kitchen Bath Mart specializes in complete remodels for the past 35 years. From design to install, we'll take good care of you. Stop in or call us today at Kitchen Bath Mart. We're your #1 choice in kitchen and bath remodeling. Highway 70 East in Arborvitae.
Look, we knew the other side would make up lies about me to scare you. Now they're claiming I want to defund the police and abolish ICE. That's a lie. I'll make sure our police have the resources and training they need to keep our communities safe. And that our communities have the resources to stop crime before it happens. I'll bring back manufacturing. And I'll pass a middle-class tax cut. And if that's too scary for Washington, then so be it. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
It's time to amp up the fun at your local Ford dealer. The summer supercharged sales event is here. So stop by your Ford dealer today and check out great offers on select Ford vehicles. Then discover how Ford can take your summer to a whole new level. Hurry to the final days of the summer supercharged sales event for a great Flex Buy offer on Escape or Edge.
In today's economy, it seems the value of a dollar continues to shrink, while the services offered are getting less and less. Here at Maher Water Corporation, a new high-efficiency system made by WaterCare can help ease the stress on your checkbook. We are always available to analyze and recommend one of these units.
So while we can't actually make your money grow, we can make the value of what you get from Maher seem like it.
In the 1960s, when churches were burned, President Kennedy stepped up, condemned it.
To burn churches, I consider both cowardly as well as outrageous.
President Kennedy pledged justice.
As soon as we are able to find out who did it, we'll arrest them.
Now, churches are being burned again because they protect unborn babies and women in need. Our second Catholic president?
Keep protesting, because keep making your point.
Create, a gift shop of sorts featuring local art and apparel. Brands like Lazy One and Stormy Cromer, along with uniquely designed items. Create and Saner. Visit them on Facebook.
All right, Jessica and Michael, super comfortable out there right now. It said the perfect human temperature is 72. And look at us right now in Rhinelander, it's 72. Also for Mosinee, a very comfortable evening, lows in the 50s, dry air, clear skies across Wisconsin. And not just Wisconsin, but really the entire Midwest right now as high pressure is building in. That will give us a very nice day tomorrow and for Thursday before a couple widely scattered thunder showers on Friday afternoon.
It's looking like a beautiful week.
It is.
It is.
Thank you, Jeff. That's all the time we have. We'll see you back here at 10.
Mr. Food Test Kitchen is brought to you by Golden Carrot Jewelers and Creative Kitchen and Bath Studio.
Potato salad is one of those dishes that, although we eat it all year long, it's most popular during the summer since it's cool and refreshing. But now that summer's coming to a close, we have a version that's perfect for the cooler weather. It's baked potato salad that's served warm and